Right, okay. I can't believe we got to do this again. The erasure of women and lesbians in our society. Laurel Hubbard. I can't see the images, so I'm going to take it for granted they're popping up. Laurel Hubbard won the Women's Super Heavyweight contest at the Roma World Cup. Women's Super Heavyweight contest. There's other pictures of Laurel. There we go, looking ladylike. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, it's a lady. It's, no, I'm not going to say it because I'm going to get banned again, aren't we? So, Laurel won the weightlifting championship. It's not always gone swimmingly for Laurel in the past. In fact, Laurel had quite a tremendous accident just a couple of years ago whilst lifting some rather heavy weights. I'm just waiting for Graham to scroll through and I'm filling desperately. While she had a terrible accident with the photographs that are there, lifting some very heavy weights. Oh, wow, this is awkward.
It's up, it's there. That's it, isn't it?
Is that on with her elbow folded sideways?
Yeah.
I can't see because somebody didn't scroll this screen down for me.
Oh, that is such. Oh.
Just saying. Just saying. Don't worry.
He's
don't
lying.
Stress. You've done fuck all since you've been here.
Lying.
I've done everything.
He's lying.
You do fucking nothing and it still doesn't work.
He pushed
and then you moan
me.
about how hard it is.
He pushed me
How hard it is.
He didn't trust me. He pushed me to picture 3 before we were due to get to picture 3. He pushed me to it, and then he sat there going, "Are you going to get to picture 3 at any point?" I was already bloody there. Lies.
Do you know when it was game facing, you get everything back to fucking front?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I still sorted it out. That's part of being a professional, you and your fucking degree. You learn nothing. Anyway, back to the tranny with the fucking heavyweights. So, there's every chance that Laurel could take a woman's place in Tokyo later this year. Take a woman's place. Because trans women are women. That's what we're told, right? Trans women are women. Laurel used to be called Greg. Greg used to do weightlifting as well, but Greg could never make it as a champion weightlifter until Greg became Laurel. He's biologically male, obviously, and he's winning, like many other males in women's sport, because blokes are better at it. Not because they're innately more talented, more strength, muscle mass, twitch muscle, all these things men have in abundance. But we're not allowed to say Laurel is a man. We have to say that trans women are women. Except it's a fucking man. It's a man. Look at the size of him. He's fucking huge with his big hairy armpits. It's a man. And I guarantee also a lesbian. Because they all tend to be lesbians, don't they? Which means they're straight men. Straight men who can't live without a pair of tits. That's all it is. I'm sick to fucking death. I mean, you try and explain every fucking time. You know, most trans people I met in real life seem to be very decent. You got to do your best. Use pronouns where you can because they don't deserve to be hurt. But you get worn down. You get ground into the fucking dirt by the activists and people like Lauren because it's fucking wrong. A woman is going to lose a place in a women's competition to a fucking man. BMX apparently is now a sport for the big games. BMX. A place on the women's team, well, that looks like it's going to go to Chelsea Wolfe. There's Chelsea. Look at that fucking beauty. It's Chelsea Wolfe. Gonna take a woman's place. Because he's a man. An entitled man. A tiny percentage of the population that we're now bending over fucking backwards to accommodate at the expense of women. And women are on Twitter, because, you know, Twitter is the hive of scum and fucking villainy, saying, well, I don't mind. Well, that's because you're not going to the Olympics, you fat cunt. You sat on fucking Twitter all day being tolerant because it doesn't affect your fucking life in one way or another that some mental bearded bastard is erasing lesbianism. You know, it's like me rocking up somewhere going, I'm a lesbian, and you must agree that I'm a lesbian, or you're a bigoted turf scumbag who deserves a big fat punch in the fucking mouth. Now suck my lady dick. Fuck these people. And it's worse, because people say, well, it's just sport. What does it matter? I think it matters hugely, by the way. You know, imagine being a female athlete. You've tried all your fucking life to get as good as you can at your sport, and a man comes in and takes that shit away from you, and you have to, you're not allowed to complain, because then you're a turf, and turfs deserve to be punched. Okay, so there you go. You little ladies, you just accommodate the men. And it gets fucking worse. The Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter was defunded quite some time ago, despite a high court saying it could ring fence for sex-based reasons. They are still being defunded. The champion of this defunding is Morgan Ogre. Now, Morgan is happy about the defunding because the shelter doesn't cater for all women. It does. Just not trans women, because whilst there are many trans women who have the bottom surgery and everything, and you know that they live as a woman, or as they believe a woman is, and they do what they can, and they're not going to rape anyone, those are not the problems. That's never been the problem. No sane person would deny that if someone's gone to all the trouble of having all the surgery and living as a woman, let them piss where they want. If they've been raped, let them use a rape relief shelter. No woman in there would deny it. They wouldn't. They're not turfs. And by the way, I keep getting called a turf, which I take as a compliment because that means I'm a radical feminist. And as anybody who regularly views the show would know, and I'm sure Graham would agree, I am very much a feminist. In fact, if you look feminist up in the dictionary, it says C. Hayden Hewitt. I'm all about the feminisms. We know that. But it doesn't cater for all women. What Morgan means is it doesn't cater for men. Have you showed the picture of her with Trudeau?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Look at that. Best buddies. Best buddies. Morgan Ogre, who defunds rape crisis centres, and the man that likes blackface. Woke as fuck, right? Woke. Nothing to me says woke than blacking up and denying raped women a safe place away from men. Now, I am told that I'm just being ridiculous, and, you know, you have to understand that the suicide rate amongst trans people is directly related to the non-acceptance. Except it isn't, because it's still massive post-surgery and everything else. Or that there's a massive increase in violence upon transsexual people. But there isn't. Trans people murder more non-trans people, and non-trans people murder trans people. Most trans people that are murdered by other trans people in the UK. That's a fact, by the way. It's not a bullshit thing. Go and look it up. Are people hateful towards trans people? Yeah, of course they are. The way they're hateful to fat people, to Jewish people, to Muslims, to black people, to fucking white, to anybody. People can be hateful, and it's wrong, but it happens. But hey, look on the bright side. At least now you're special. You get to be called a hate crime. Anyone commits crime on me, I just get the shit regular crime. You get the hate crime, even if they didn't know you were trans. Still a hate crime. See? Privilege. Got your fucking privilege. On Tuesday, I mentioned that Twitter account going on about the privilege of gay men. How they're super privileged. This was a trans woman who was a fucking rocket scientist who went to Harvard. A white man that went to Harvard is probably, to most woke people, the epitome of white privilege. However, When he comes out going, actually, I'm a lady and I've always felt like a woman. Oh, well, that's all right then. You've not got privilege. You're a victim. Despite the fact that you advocate for women who aren't too sure about this to get kicked in the fucking teeth whilst they refuse to suck your lady dick. I get it. And just in case people think I am overreacting about the women's shelters, let's have a look through some of these people. I'm going to have to look over here for this bit because I still can't see on this monitor. Let's bring up some of these people. Do you see this first one here? Look at that one. Sex offender. Decided he was a lady, got sent to women's prison where he continued to sexually offend. Raping women in women's prison, but they kept him there because he's a lady. Who's next up on this beautiful fucking list? Look at that one. You'd know that was a sex offender before you even looked at it. That's right, hits on little girls. Who've we got next on this? Another sex offender. This one decided it was a lady, so he wouldn't be punished as badly afterwards. Let's bring up this last one. Mrs. Witherspoon.
Lovely Pauline, yes.
Pauline was given a citation for going in the wrong toilet, which apparently is a terrible, terrible thing of misgendering. Pauline's also a child molester. So it's right to wonder about should he be rocking into the ladies with his throbbing cock. Did you show that young man posing in the mirror?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll get it up again for you if you want.
Yeah, please. That's from a women's shelter.
Yeah.
They had to let him in because he said he was a woman. He was posting proudly on social media that he was walking around the place with a massive hard-on. This is around women that have been raped, that have been abused by their partners and by strangers and family or whatever else. They've got this cunt walking around with a fucking stiffy, but they can't throw him out because he's a lady. The world has gone fucking mental. Now, when I grew up, there was a shop over in Prestwich called Transformation. You giggle about it. You didn't hang around throwing bricks at people that went in there. It was a shop for trans people. When there was the trans person whose parents lived at the flats where I spent my early part of my teens up to my late teens, I don't remember any of us having a problem with her. I just don't. You have a little giggle because it always looks a bit odd, but you didn't pick on him. You were good. I don't remember it being that much of a problem. Now, it's reached a point where it is erasing lesbians from existence. They're being pushed out of the LGB movement by the T's and the activists. Why? Because they're not attracted to trans women. Because trans women aren't women. The men with cocks, and lesbians, traditionally, don't like the cock. It's not for them. It's just not their thing. They don't want to gently cup a set of balls whilst telling someone they love them. They want a vagina, Graham. They want vagina and breasts.
Doesn't sound so bad.
It's perfectly reasonable. But apparently it's not reasonable anymore. They have to accept that all of these fucking blokes, bearded fucking blokes, who look like who are blokes, are lesbians. And is it just me that thinks so many of these trans women turn out to be lesbians? And they go, well, sexuality and gender are two different things. Yeah, but they're still acting a lot like blokes. They keep saying, well, you know, there with the beard like this, you know, everything else. Well, I feel like a woman. I don't know that you do. I don't know that you do. But we can't say it now for fear of upsetting somebody. I know there's a couple of trans people that watch the show, often week in, week out. They don't seem to have a problem with the things that we say, and if they have, they'll disagree with me. But yet, on Twitter, there are millions of, frankly, very beta human beings getting their own way, silencing everybody, But whilst Graham was informed before, they have their accounts protected.
Oh yeah. I've seen evidence of that now. If you report tweets for LGBT activists, the report doesn't even get sent through. It's like the opposite of shadow banning, so that they are literally shielded. Do it. Go on one of their accounts and report them, and you'll see it'll say 0. Well, congratulations, 0 accounts reported, and you're like, what? But I just did. Yeah, it's disgraceful, man.
Protected class.
I gotta say though, there's obviously there's a lot of trans people out there that are legit and genuine in that, but I think especially with Labour and the Democrats and the way they're going, you can very quickly move from being a straight white male sex offender to being a trans lesbian map. You know, and you did the whole world changes for you instantly, man.
Oh yeah, you get the support
because they're so desperate to sort of take care of you, aren't they?
At some point, there has to be some pushback to this. And the only thing we can hope in that is that the trans people, actual trans people, not these bullshit ones we see so much of, they only seem to happen when Twitter fucking kicked off, didn't it? No one ever walked up to you looking like a Viking going, actually, you've got to call me ma'am.
Yeah.
Never happened, because if you wanted to be called Mrs. or Ma'am, they'd look like a woman. Or try to, at least. Don't just have a fucking ginger beard but put lipstick on. In the old days, they pointed at you, no, you're fucking mental, mate. But you're not even allowed to say that now. Because of feels and mental health. Everyone's got the fucking mental health now. We've reached a really strange place in society. Now, luckily, we say, well, it's not society at large, it's Twitter, but it reaches out into real life really, really fucking quickly now, doesn't it? You call someone a bloke on Twitter, you could be, hello, this is the police. We'd like to talk to you about checking your thinking. We have the thought police over here, and it's not going to stop here. Oh, no, not even close. It's gonna spread everywhere, and it's not gonna stop. And they're gonna continue abusing trans people who don't agree with the activists. The ones that say, actually, I'm not biologically a woman. I just want to live as one. Oh, they get some shit. I've noticed that all that, you must be nice and kind or they'll kill themselves, goes out the fucking window the minute a trans person says, I'm just trying to live my best life. Don't bring me into this shit. Then kind and all that shit out the fucking window. Fuck them. And when someone does kill themselves, well, good. They're very happy about it. The far left are so fucking aggressive, violent, accusatory, judgmental. They're fucking terrible. They're all the attributes we used to ascribe to the far right. And it's all fucking changed. I am not a spring chicken, but I'm only 47. This much shouldn't change since I was in my fucking 30s. And we have web platforms now. Freedom of speech is great. It's a great thing. But we've got things like Twitter, and I adore the Twitter, as many of you know. But we're protecting people that abuse and dox others whilst demonising those that they dox. We've got platforms where dog fuckers and paedophiles are allowed to be proud and happy, but someone posts that shit meme, it's okay to be white. Yeah, 24-hour timeout, dickhead. And heaven to Betsy, if you happen to call a lady a man, what happened to weightlifting comedian dude?
Oh, Zuby.
Yeah.
What did he say? Okay, dude, or something.
Okay, dude.
Boom, you're gone. You're out. Banned.
Time out.
And it was a dude. It is a dude as well. That's the thing. There's no. Plus, that's fairly gender neutral. I call my daughter dude. If she does something, I go dude. It's not like it's not. The world doesn't collapse. The sky doesn't fall.
Oh, but he copped a ban though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Copped a ban.
Well, because they gang up, don't they? The thing is, that someone like Zuby, who's quite tolerant, he might have different views to you, but he accepts that you're different views, so he's not going to report you. That's the problem with Twitter. The reports don't go. It's only the woke people that do report.
So I remember on Lively, been going a couple of years, and a group came over from YouTube. Because I don't know if you remember on YouTube when they first brought this thing in, where if everyone reported an account, it was just pulled. It was just pulled. And this group moved to get the atheists on Lively, or as the atheists came to get somebody else. I can't remember now. It's a long time ago. And they tried the same thing on Lively. We banned all of them.
They've just done it to the Donald, and the Donald subreddit is one of the most influential pages on the internet. It's huge.
Oh, it's massive.
Millions of hits every week, millions and millions and millions. Just that one Reddit, but they've just banned loads of the moderators, and the talk is then, because there's no moderators to moderate, people are then going to brigade it and do loads of banned content. Because the original reason it got quarantined was because there was supposedly threats against the police on there.
Yeah.
But it was obviously far left activists posting it to get it banned in the first place. It was a stitch up. Because they fucking love the police. They're like really overly supportive.
They're conservatives.
Yeah, they're all Blue Lives Matter. Yeah, I've seen footage of Trump rallies where when the police enter, everyone cheers for him and claps and fucking, you know.
It's traditional conservative approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you're pro-law and order, and it tempers a lot of the demonisation you get from the left towards the police. You know, the old coppers are bastards and those things. You know?
Yeah.
So it's all bollocks. There's something really insidious and wrong.
Well, they think they can swing the election by it, but it's just going to make things worse. These things always do.
It always fails. Look at the Lib Dems in this country tried to appease the Twitterati and failed misery. Now you got Labour trying desperately to appeal to everyone. What's that we spoke about on the show with the woman who wants to be deputy leader coming out saying children do not have sex at birth. You know, asex. I don't mean actual sex because they shouldn't, but asex at birth. And at the end of it, I guess my take is this: sex is binary. Trans women are not women. That's why we call them trans women. I know they try to mix it up by putting cis in front of women now. Bollocks. You're a trans woman. And yes, in society, you should be treated with respect and fairness and kindness where possible. But it's not fucking right. And it should never be a right. If you're an absolute fucking arsehole that runs roughshod over everyone else because of your rights, because you know you've got that support at the minute, you're the one that's going to get it fucked up for everybody. Because how it actually works in society is most Western societies are very tolerant until they aren't. Everything has a pushback at some point, and the victims of that are almost exclusively the ones that never caused any of the trouble in the first place. Because all those activists, I've said it before, I'll say again, they'll just find another cause to latch onto. All those guys with the beards and the lipsticks in Emily, they just have to wipe that lipstick off. They're back to being a bloke. What does it matter? Nothing changed for them anyway. Still had a cock and they still wanted to have sex with women, so what's the fucking difference? Bad shit. Bad shit.